Just move this over. Hey everybody, it's me Danny, and today we're going to be talking about the World Championship. The decks that you may see at the tournament, the deck that if it just so happens that you are a Worlds competitor, the deck that you may want to go with, or just overall what I think is going to be the deck to win Worlds. Now, obviously the cards you see here are not the, I guess the heavy hitters or key cards of the said archetypes that are representing here. Like, for instance, this is not a Masterpiece, this is not a Mechaba, this is not a Blue Eyes White Dragon, this is not a Minerva, but, you know, I don't have my laptop right now, so I just decided to bring you guys just a discussion video, and let's not just worry too much about the cards that I got out of my dollar binder. Alright, so, with the Worlds list, for those of you who don't know, it's a combination of both the TCG list and the OCG list. So what that means is, if, let's say, for instance, Maiden with the Eyes of Blue is hit to 1 in OCG, if we have it at 3 but OCG has it at 1, the Worlds list takes whichever one is hit the lowest. So for Worlds, it would be Maiden at 1, even though in TCG we have it at 3. So if you remember, like, the OCG lists and the TCG lists of certain cards like Dark Destroyer, Masterpiece, Pendulum Sorcerer, Union Hanger, Terraforming, things of that nature, whichever one out of those lists is the lowest is what Worlds is using. Now, banned cards are obviously sometimes prize cards, TCG exclusives, and just general banned cards. Now, when I say prize cards, I mean things of like Utopia Kaiser, like Blood Mephis, Ascension Sky Dragon, things like that. Now, what's interesting though is that Minerva, since it did get the reprint, is not banned anymore, so if someone wanted to take Lightsworns to Worlds, they could. But this isn't going to be a Lightsworn video. This is going to be a Worlds deck discussion video. Now, on the very popular Facebook group, Zodiac Duelist, people were discussing what they would probably take to Worlds, and some were saying like maybe DDD would be the best bet to take, maybe an Invoked variant, or anything with Masterpiece. But what's interesting about the Worlds list is that they are following the new Master Rules 4, which is the Link Summoning mechanic. So in that kind of sense, I wouldn't want to take DDD to Worlds because it's just very extra deck heavy, and the new support that's coming out in Call of the Duelist is not legal for Worlds. So DDD is kind of out of the running for Worlds. Then we look at the other decks here. We have Masterpiece variants, Invoked, Dinos. We have Blue Eyes that could win on like back-to-back Worlds. And then we have a deck like Pendulum. Now, what's interesting about Pendulum is that Joker and Pendulum Call are hit to 1 in the OCG, and they have Sorcerer hit to 2. So for us in TCG, even though we just got like Wisdom Eye Joker, Pendulum Call to 3, they're all, well, not they all, but most of those are at 1. But my thing is that like Pendulums still have Harmonized Magician to make Link monsters with. But the issue with that is the only Link monsters available are Link Spider, Honeybot, and Decode Talker. And they have Gofu at 1 in OCG, and that kind of automatically takes Pendulum out of the running because it just can't really do anything if you can't really spam Link monsters to spam your extra deck monsters. So now we're left with these. Reason why you probably see like Medion, I hope I pronounced that right, the Time Lord, is like Cyframes with Time Lords is a very gimmicky slash like control based way to run a deck. I believe Cyframe Little Mega is hit to 1 in the OCG. Let me just look at the list real quick. And we see that Cyframe Little Mega is hit to 1 in the OCG. But the Time Lords themselves are not bad. Is that a motorcycle? That was a motorcycle. Cypher Little Mega is hit to 1 of the OCG, but I feel like the Time Lords themselves can still like just summon and then like do their effects to just have control of the fields and like the turn and things of that nature. But I feel like the Cyframe aspect of it will like die out since Omega is hit to 1, and that usually keeps the control part of it like fluent. So I'll probably count out the Time Lords, seeing as though that, like I said, Omega's hit to 1, and most of the time, these aren't really going to stick around for the field long enough, and Link format is pretty fast. Most of these decks are just faster than Cyframe Time Lords, so we're going to take out Time Lords. Another deck that we could probably eliminate is the Lightsworns, because they also are extra deck reliant, and we don't have Proxy Dragon, we don't have like Mrs. Radiant, things of that nature to go with the shenanigans of the Predaplant with Brilliant Fusion, and just sitting on a Minerva and like not really anything else is not that good. So we're gonna just eliminate Light Sworns as well. Now another deck that I would probably want to take out of the running would maybe be ABC. Now some people think ABC could still probably compete in Worlds, seeing as though like even though Union Hanger and Terraformer are at 2, Buster Dragon is still a very powerful card, and they can make what is it called? They can make Decode Talker Buster turn 1, but that requires Proxy Dragon, and Proxy Dragon is not available for the World Championship. So, unfortunately, for all you ABC fans, we're going to have to take out ABC for the running. And now we're left with these 5. Now, the reason why you see Prince here is because Mermos don't necessarily need links to work. If you want, you could check out my top 5 decks for link format. I did mention Mermos and how they still have amazing OTK potential, and they're just still consistent as hell, even with the Dragoons at 2. Now, them not needing links could give them the advantage to win Worlds, actually, but when you compare it to decks like maybe Masterpiece, where they can just interrupt their Prince, or Mechaba, where they can interrupt their Prince, or Tyranno that can interrupt their Prince, you kind of just like lose all your momentum. Even with Blue Eyes, just sitting on the Spirit Dragon to negate the Dragoon's effect in the graveyard can technically just cut Mermos out of the running. So we're going to eliminate Mermos from the Worlds list. I mean, from the Worlds decks. Now we're with these 4. These 4 are probably going to be the most represented decks at Worlds. Even though Masterpiece and Diagram are here to 1, Masterpiece is still a very powerful and easy accessible card. Not to mention, the rest of the archetype is at 3. Meaning you still got to put up with 3 Dynamite Knuckler. You still have to put up with Majesty, Paladin, Ignis Heat, things of that nature. So we're going to definitely keep in, we're going to put the ones that we're going to keep up here. Now, you look at Dinos. Dinos are just still so powerful with the True Kings, and Oviraptor is still a good card. Tyranno is just a good boss monster, and sitting on Calamities turn 1 is not a bad way to use up your extra deck spot. You can just sit on him. He's 3k both ways, and he just interrupts everything. So we're definitely going to keep Dinos for this one. Now, maybe if Blue Eyes and Invoked work together, they could possibly be another contender for Worlds, but I don't think them being separate is good enough in a sense, because you have Invoked, who could just make Mechaba and could possibly just get Kaiju'd, and then you have Blue Eyes, who could just make Spirit Dragon and they could probably just get Kaiju'd as well. But the thing about with Blue Eyes is that they can just keep spamming big like monsters. Like you could just keep putting out alternative dragons, Spirit of Whites, regular Blue Eyes White Dragon, things of that nature, and they have easily like the best monster like recovery ever in the forms of like Silver's Cry, Azure Eyes, and Return of the Dragon Lord. So I would definitely count Blue Eyes in as a contender for Worlds. As far as Invoke go, they can either mix with Blue Eyes or even mix with True Kings, but I cannot see them being their own like entity. So they're like, we're gonna put them in like the middle range, because like I said, them on their own, I don't think they can make the cut, but mixed with True King or Blue Eyes, they definitely have a good shot. Now, if someone is actually testing like Dino Invoked, you got it, fam. But as far as I'm concerned, these would probably be the best decks for Worlds. Now, the deck that I personally feel is going to win Worlds is definitely Dino, because this guy right here is just so freaking powerful. And the fact that they have a main decked Kaiju is just an easy way to get rid of Masterpiece and an easy way to get over Spirit Dragon, so they can't negate the graveyard effects of like Miscellaneous Swords. Well, Miscellaneous Swords is banished for cost, but the babies, that's what I'm referring to. Or the True Kings in graveyard too. So I definitely feel as though Dino is the winner for Worlds. If I end up being wrong, that's perfectly fine. But I'm not saying that this deck is better than these. I'm just giving my opinion on why I think Dinos can win Worlds. All these decks right here are phenomenal. I hope that these can be well represented at Worlds, and I hope that the Worlds Championship turns out to be a very entertaining competition. Now that Zodiac is gone, we can finally start seeing other decks flourish and get the attention that they deserve. So with that being said, that's going to be the video for today, guys. Just my thoughts on the World Championship qualifier. I'm not saying that these decks are bad. I'm just saying that these aren't really the ones I would want to take to Worlds personally. These would be the ones I would take to Worlds personally, and this is definitely the winner that I feel would take the event. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed like the run through of the World Championship qualifier. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time. This is Danny signing out. See ya.